Three.
Hello, time is now 4:30. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, Tina here, Joanne
Here.
Danielle here, Nicole here, Victor.
Here.
Please stand and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda. Seeking a second.
I'll second. I'll second it.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Number 5, approval of consent items. You all had the opportunity to get your questions answered regarding the consent items. I'll make a motion to approve the items as listed. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Number 6 is the district administrator report, which Michelle was nice enough to send to us. She is absent today. All right. You're sharing it?
Oh yeah, I can share that over the broadcast. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna read off yours.
Oh,
And go to the next slide, please. All right, celebrations, upcoming events, the summer band concert, August 24th, 6:30 here at Bristol. Open house, which everyone's invited to, is Wednesday, August 26th from 4 to 6. And the best day of the year is the first day of school, which is September 1st. Already.
Yeah, so a quick update on the strategic planning. We had our third session this week of the work groups. And so what's going on with the strategic planning is we're taking the pillar and then we're working in the groups to identify goals and strategies to help fulfill the pillars. Part of that work is really looking at what deliverables we can provide. So something concrete. We use the SMART goals model, and so the groups met. For example, I was participating in the safety and operations, and the goal that we devised is a master facilities plan. And so we devised to do the plan and then have implementation. So wonderful work happening with the strategic sessions. Looking forward to the final outcome on it.
Thanks. Perfect, thank you. Good on that. Enrollment update as of August 7th. Total students 837. Reminder that registration is still open, that if you have not registered your child, to please register them as soon as possible so that the school can get planning. Staffing update 2026-2027. Welcome to the 12 new staff members for joining us this school year. 2 of our new staff members are filling new positions created to support our staff and students with tiered behavior support. We're excited to have the new staff join the Renegade team. So welcome. All of the 2026 school protocols are procedures and protocols that were previously in place, but they are being emphasized during the upcoming school year as we focus on student and staff safety along with proactive communication. Student personnel communication devices, we're ensuring that our protocols match our policies and that we're in compliance with the Wisconsin Act 42, which prohibits students from using personal communication devices during instructional time. Exceptions apply for students with medical needs, IEP, 504 accommodations, certain emergency situation, and if students request PCDs to be used for instructional purposes. When large for student visits or school visits, when large celebration or events are happening during the school day, the guests will be given directions to sign in into Verkada from home and share their personal identification information ahead of time. This will allow the district to run background checks ahead of time, and visitor badges will be printed for visitors to be picked up when they arrive. This alleviates long lines and waits to get in to the events. Communication response times and chain of commands will be shared with families at the start of the school year. And our staff has been busy throughout the summer engaging in professional development to increase their capacity to support students. We'll be looking forward to having staff members join us in September to share how they are applying the professional development into their classrooms and throughout the building within the next school year. That is the update and celebration that Michelle provided us all that she couldn't be here tonight. Great. Number 7, Jorge, that's on to you.
Okay. I think Tony can pull up the slides there on the business office updates. I do have some print copies as well. Yes, yes. And so this time of year, June 30th is the end of our fiscal year for 25-26. Officially on July 1st, we entered our 26-27 budget year. So one natural thing to look at this time of year is what is our year-end position, kind of that year-end review, right, performance. So we'll look at a couple of things. The first one we'll look at is revenue sources. So if you turn the page and if you key on the slide phone here for the next slide. So when we're looking at revenue sources, this is at the these are all the total revenues that Bristol has received throughout the 25-26 academic year. And so you're looking at the distribution on a pie chart here with local dollars being those revenue sources in blue, and that's at 50% there. You can also see the dollar designations there on the table updated. So it's at half of the total budget in terms of revenue. For federal sources, you'll see on there as well. State sources is a major contributor at 31% of our revenues coming from state sources, intermediate sources as well, and then there's inter-district payments for open enrollment and such. So that's a distribution, kind of a visual of our revenue sources. Now the natural thing to look at, after our revenues. Oh, and just one last thing to highlight on that last page is the bottom total. So total revenues, and this is activity, right? So we're looking just nearly at activity, not budgets. Our activity came in at 11,009,016. When we're looking at our expenses, we can look at those by categories. The largest expense that we have as a school district is our salaries. So that salary is 5.29844 million. We look at the benefits, we're looking at 2,069,770. Purchase services follows that at 1,867,000. Then we have our capital objects, non-capital objects, insurance, transfers, and such. Transfers is another large expense for Bristol School District, as is for any other school districts. Those transfers primarily include the budget transfer to Fund 27 and Fund 50. Those are two funds that at the year end need to balance out at a zero. So if they are under, we need to transfer money from our operational fund to get them to a equal status at zero. So that's the total distribution there. Total expenses came in just a bit under the total revenue, so they came in at 11,033,349. If we look at the next page, we're looking at the year-end transfers. So this is included within the expenses in the previous slide that we looked at, right? So that number in the expenses that you saw for transfers for 1,395,792, this is how that's distributed. So the larger transfer going to Fund 27 at 1,288,588. There's a Fund 50 transfer because it needed a transfer to help offset the cost to bring it to a zero balance. And that transfer amount was 57,204. And then also this year we were able to transfer into Fund 46 an amount of 50,000 to help increase our Fund 46, which is our capital fund for building fund. So we were able to make that transfer at year end, bringing the total transfers to 1,395,792. So that's the total transfer amounts. If we go to the next page, we're looking now at total revenues minus total expenses. And at current state, that's our unaudited year-end position. We had our preliminary audit in June. We had our final audit in July. And right now we're working with Lucida, our auditing firm and auditing team. So if they have any minor micro adjustments that need to be made, they will indicate to us, but we do have a healthy financial state to be able to make those. The next page, which I think is really key also, is special education costs. So every year there is what is called maintenance of effort, which means that we have to pass one of 4 tests, right? So those tests are regarding special education costs and expenses. So out of the 4 tests there, you see that we were able to meet 2 met and then 1 with exceptions. You're only required to meet one of these as a requirement. And so this is important because as we're looking into the 26-27 budget with special education, you have to make sure that you spend at or above the amount. There's no reductions in special education in terms of cost cutting. We have to make sure that we are supplying that budget with it enough to meet the needs of special education services. So this is just identifying that we've met our maintenance of effort. There's also that's something that we look at in the upcoming year, right? What are those costs and how do we continue to maintain that? The last page looking at is 26-27, which is financial sustainability. So we are yet to receive our final audit numbers. We should receive them in December. But in the meantime, we're looking at 26-27, the year that has already started. We already have a month in as of July. So what can the business office do to help support financial sustainability? So part of that is here are some of the strategies. One of them is implement budgetary safeguards within Skyward. Skyward is our business financial software. So how do we do that? Is budget tolerances. So we have a budgeted amount for all of our accounts. We have roughly 1,300 accounts, right? And so we want to make sure that the budgeted amount, right? And then there's a set amount as far as expenditures that we stay within that threshold, right? And so part of that is oversight. Part of that is collaborative meeting with department heads, meeting with folks that are in charge of budgets so that we stay within the budget tolerance. Big part of that is, like I mentioned, is monitoring, reporting. So one of the things that we'll be implementing this year is doing some automated reports within Skyward that go out to the department heads so that they can see on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, what their costs are, what their revenues are, what their expenses are. And that way, it helps along the line so that you don't have any surprises. Also, I realize that it's important to do training with staff, right? So bringing up the fiscal, knowledge base of just understanding how to read budgets. What is my budget? They don't need to understand, the whole what is every account code and such. But whatever they have pertaining to their budget, yes, they do need to understand, where they're at and how to manage that. Requisition process is also something that we're looking at. So this is a key process. It's more of a standard operating procedure, but it's very important because it's what we order, what we purchase. We want to make sure that it follows the proper cycles, proper chain of command, proper approvals. And that's to help create efficiency as well. Contracts is another important area to focus on. So the management of contracts, making sure that we're managing our contracts effectively. Part of that is digitizing the contracts. I think it's important that we've started several months ago uploading and scanning all our new contracts into our financial software. We realize that yes, we could have paper files, but we want to be able to call that information up instantly. There's certain things that we can know if we have this digitized. We can know when the contract begins, when it ends, the amounts that the contract is stated for, and then importantly is we can look at renewal cycles. So the renewal cycles on many of these contracts, right? Many of them are set to auto renew, which means that if you don't cancel them within 30, 60, 90 days prior, they just go into auto renew mode, and then it's hard to get, that refund, right? If you don't no longer need that service. So this year, we're really looking at, those renewal cycles, getting them identified, getting them on a table, getting them on a calendar that we can look at when they're coming due, and then evaluating our ROI on each of those contracts. Is this something, what's the impact? What's the benefits? Also looking at, how do we optimize our contracts? So that means looking at our vendors that we work with, our partners, consolidating services when necessary, optimizing as well, and then also working on our grant management strategy. So those are some of the strategies, some of the items. For the business office, within the next 30, 60, 90 days, as you saw, there's a lot of new hires, so we've got a lot of activity with onboarding. And that means getting them into our financial software, getting them enrolled in benefits, getting them all set up. There's a lot of DPI reporting in the fall. So there is a lot of census data, there's grant management, there's a lot of Ed5, for example, is something that our data is pushed from our financial software to the state, and they need to match all our account codes. So that's something that we'll be doing our submissions. We'll be preparing for the annual budget. The third Friday count is another milestone in the year, right? So that's coming up very soon here in September. We had a membership audit last year, right? And so that is something that good, I think, for the district because it helps us that we want to make sure that all our September counts, our January counts, our head counts, our pupil, our membership in general, that we have just the best data on that as possible. Annual budget hearing it will be coming due soon. And then lastly on here is within 90 days, health insurance open enrollment. We're already looking ahead at that. What does that look like for this upcoming year? Any potential increases, right, that we have included in the budget. So that is coming soon. Debt repayment, we have a debt repayment in the fall. So looking ahead at the debt repayment and the schedules. And then also the final audit should be ready sometime early December. So, any questions on this package of information?
Needless to say, you're busy.
Yes.
My,
No question.
I'll just say my hope, this is particularly the slides with charts are very insightful and very reader friendly. I hope that you were going to include something like this. You likely are for the annual meeting. The only hope would be that, like, when you say like which fund it is, if you could just put the name of the fund instead of the number. It's a lot of insider language. So if we just say like Fund 47 is this fund, then people will know exactly what fund is what.
That is great feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. This is wonderful.
Yes, thank you, Robert. Number 8, public comments. I think we're golden there. Number 9, discussion items. The first one was policy at the second reading. It's policy 5136. Any questions on the cell phone policy that we will be adopting? Nope. Can I get a motion to approve this policy as a second reading?
I'll make a motion to approve this policy 5136 personal communication devices policy. Second reading.
Okay, a second. A second for that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. So the next one was 9B, which is the emergency nursing plan. Michelle made a recommendation to the school board to approve the 2026. I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong one. Made a motion or a recommendation to incorporate the 2026-2027 emergency nursing plan. These are the 4 documents that are listed here. We were able to hear about that nursing plan last school board meeting on July 15th. So I just need a motion to adopt that emergency nursing plan.
Which made this review a lot easier.
To hear it ahead of time. Yeah. Really nice information.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll move to approve the emergency nursing plan for the 26-27 school year. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to 9C. Michelle made a recommendation to approve the 2026, 2020, I'm sorry, 2025, 2026 Bristol School Annual Seclusion and Restraint Report. This includes the data from the Bristol School District Number 1 and the Open Wings Academy for 2025 to 2026. In compliance with the state statute, this information will be shared with the Department of Public Institution by December 1st, 2026. Can I get a motion?
Sure. I'll move to approve the 25-26 school year's annual seclusion and restraint report.
I'll second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to 9D, the 2026-2027 substitute teacher rates. Michelle made a recommendation for the board to approve the following 2026-2027 substitute rates. The daily substitute rate was 150, long-term substitute was 210, daily substitute for the Bristol retirees was 165, long-term substitute Bristol retirees was 225. Can I get a motion to approve that recommendation?
Sure, I'll happily do it and also say thank you to our retirees and all of our subs because we love our substitutes. So I will approve the 26 or make a motion to approve the 26-27 Bristol substitute teacher rates as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor of that motion, say aye. Any nays? Moving on to 9E. Michelle made a recommendation to the board to approve the 2026-2027 coaching stipends as listed in the board packets. Can I get a motion to approve
I'll
those?
make a motion to approve the coaching stipends for 26 and 27.
Perfect. Can I get a second? Nicole seconded. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. 9E. Michelle, I'm sorry, 9F. Michelle is recommending that we move the annual meeting to Wednesday, October 21st. Currently, it's scheduled for September 23rd. Jean, was it September 23rd? Maybe September 20th something. She is asking that we move that to October 21st. That's the meeting, that is our normal monthly meeting. So what it would be is our budget meeting would be 6 to 7. We would approve the final budget for 2026, 2027. At 7 o'clock, we would do our annual meeting. And immediately following that, we would do our regular monthly meeting. She is asking that this be moved, that Jorge would have received the general school aid certificate from the Department of Public Institution, which would allow the board to have an accurate setting for financial data in which to approve the final budget for the 26-27 school year.
Makes good sense.
Yes, it's currently set for September 21st. She's asking if we can move it to October 21st. We'll do it all in one night and be done for the month of October.
Sounds great.
I just need a motion to approve that change.
I'll make a motion to approve the date for the annual meeting to October 21st.
And a second.
I'll second.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Number 10, is there any future agenda items that you guys would wish to see other than the normal ones, or anything that you wish to see on the agenda?
I would say the proposed communication workshop, the BOE communication workshops in a couple weeks. So it'd be nice to report out what was the outcome of that workshop.
Sure. Okay. Anything else? All right. Number 11. Wow, what time is it?
I know. It's right.
Number 11, convene into closed session. The board will convene into closed session to discuss and take action if appropriate under Wisconsin statute 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data to any public employee under which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss approval of closed session minutes. I'll make a motion to move into closed session, seeking a second. Roll call, Tina, aye. Victor?
Aye.
Nicole? Aye. Danielle?
Aye.
Joanne?
Uh,
Motion
I'll
carries.
second it. I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Oh, sorry. I moved right over that, didn't I? As I'm just
We're
reading,
making
sorry.
good time.
We, Tony, we only need about 5-10 minutes
Okay.
at the very most.
Alright, cool. 3.
All right, so I'll make a motion to move into open session. Seeking a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Time is now 5:03 p.m. I just want to point that out. I'll make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Seeking a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, everybody.